All right, the new Toolmaster Pro update is here. Let's talk about it. All right, so if you're tracking, the new update was supposed to come out tomorrow, but they released it today for Valentine's Day. So the firmware update is, 1.256. And the first thing I want to show you guys, there is a lot of negativity surrounding this update. And I thought this would be the case of how this would probably be, received amongst our community, as a lot of people are probably disappointed by this. But I'll give you my thoughts after I show you what's actually been released here. Okay, so basically, you're not getting any new features. I guess the feature you get is, what do they call it? Switch link, function of foot switch assignments, assign up to 8 foot switches, and assign groups. So this is kind of doing like the scene thing. I'll do a separate video on jumping a little bit deeper into this. This is not really a function that I'm going to be using a lot. But if you saw the Toolmaster Pro video I did about Archetype Plenty, that's where I could have used this, was having 3 amps, and then whenever I have 1 amp on, I want it to turn off the other 2 amps. You could basically do that now with this. Again, this is not something that I'm going to use a lot. I'd much rather, let me finish this and I'm going to come back to this. That might be something you'll use though. Then we get a new cab model with the British blackback. You're getting a bunch of MIDI stuff, so if you're a MIDI user, this is for you. Again, it's not something that I'm going to use. Now, we get a bunch of updates to the amp models. So all the Van Halen amps have been completely remodeled. So same thing with the JCM. And the new JCM 800 or JVM. JVM is Java Virtual Machine. I'm a software engineer. That's my background. But anyways, the new Marshall amp sounds really good. I've played with it. It sounds amazing. A lot of this is just minor updates, right? So a lot of you guys, I got out of the shower, and boy, I came into about a ton of comments telling me, hey, the new update's out, and a couple of DMs asking me what my thoughts are. And, I figured this is going to be how this firmware update was going to be received, which is, what's Fender doing? Why aren't we getting new amps? Why aren't we getting new pedals? And what my honest to God thoughts are is that the Toolmaster Pro is probably rushed. Look, I'm a software engineer. I know how this works. The marketing team gets really excited about something. The product owner, or your head guy who doesn't really understand technology, understands deadlines and thinks that if I rush a deadline, technology will match it, only for a software engineering team not to hit the mark. Right? If you've ever worked in tech, you know what this is. But here's the thing, Fender, you just gotta roll with it. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I think this is an underwhelming patch update, but I think it is needed because there are a lot of things, like I never used the Marshall amp because I just thought it sounded bad, and a lot of the Van Halen amps I actually thought they sounded really good. So I'm excited to see what a lot of these model updates sound like. And especially, it seems like they put a lot of time in the IR and the cab section. Listen, that's the most important section on any modeler. This is why a lot of people gripe about the Helix, is that people will say the Helix has the best sounding amps but the worst sounding IR. And if you don't believe me, go play one. You'll see. I had the Line 6 powered amp, which had all its cabs loaded on it, and I was excited about it. But guess what? Only to find out that's the weakest part of the Helix, right? So the Toolmaster Pro stuff, I understand the sentiment of man, I was really expecting to have a lot more updates. I was expecting to have a lot more pedals. You just got to keep in mind, a lot of the other companies have been at this a lot longer. And a lot of the companies, whenever they release their product, you're not getting consistent updates every 3 months like this. This is what, 2 updates in 3 months? Has it been 3 months, or are we at month 6? I don't know. I can't do math on the spot. Let's see, October, November. Came out in October. You got firmware 1.2 released at launch, and then now we're getting this one now in February. Look, trust in the Fender team, all right? I don't want to sound... Well, I am a Toolmaster bro. This is the only device I use for a good reason. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. If the Toolmaster Pro did not receive another update, I would probably still use this over all of my other devices. I own the AXFX 3. I own a bunch of VSTs for recording, and I own a 65 Deluxe Reverb. This is the device for me. So let me tell you who this device is for and who it's not for. This device is for like 99% of working musicians, okay? Look, unless if you were just fortunate enough to be in a band that, or you come from money, or you have money, most musicians cannot afford to have access to all of these amps. When I was really gigging hard, I had one amp, one pedal board. That's what I was stuck with. The amp I used was a $1,500 amp. You know how scary it is to buy a really nice amp as a working musician? It's terrifying. Something like this, that one, I get access to a bunch of amps that I would never have. Two, I get access to a bunch of pedals that I get to try out. Three, if I wanted to add pedals to this that the Tonemaster Pro doesn't have, I can do that. I don't do that because everything this thing has, I need. Look, I'm a plain Jane player. I have created my platform on YouTube teaching myself how to do more advanced signal pathing, because you know what, you know where I really want to live? I want that JC120, which is probably my favorite clean. I want really good clean, really good reverbs, really good delays, distortion and overdrive pedals to work with. If I have that, it's awesome. And you know, the biggest thing that really kept me on the Tonemaster Pro instead of coming back into like the Axe FX3, because I'm not affiliated with Fender. Fender doesn't pay my bills. I do this because I'm passionate about technology, and I'm obviously a passionate musician. The blend of the two is where I want to live for a career, right? So I could easily say, hey, I'm done with the Tonemaster Pro. I'm going to switch back over to the Axe FX3, but I don't. And there's a reason for it. One, the Tonemaster Pro's whole like package is just amazing. This is like the iPhone of modelers. If you want everything underneath the sun, then why are you looking at the Tonemaster Pro in the first place? You can go on and see what amps are included in the Tonemaster Pro. If you want everything underneath the sun, you want an Axe FX3. But if you want something that is giggable out the gate, plus is fun to work with and fits in your backpack with Bluetooth, listen, the Bluetooth capability is probably one of the most undersold features of the Tonemaster Pro. And I'll give you two examples of it. One, right now I'm not in a band. I would love to be in a band, so if you're watching this video and you need to hire, a professional musician, please reach out. If it makes sense financially, I'd love to work with you. So I don't have a band, but I write my own music. Okay, well, with not having musicians to play with, I did my own solo shows playing with a backing track. This isn't unheard of. People like Plenty did the same thing getting started, right? You do this until you get a big enough of a name, or you find musicians while you're on your path, then you can play with live musicians. So I'm at the beginning phase. Well, I went to an open mic. I had all my backing tracks, which I already wrote and recorded, and I just muted the lead guitar parts. And I streamed everything from my iPhone in my back pocket to my Tonemaster Pro. And everybody was like, wow, that was awesome. You can even see videos of it if you look at my YouTube channel. But here's the other area where you can use this. Look, I have two FR cabs. I use a Head Rush 12 and I have the Fender 12, right? So this last weekend, me and a bunch of friends went up to a cabin for my birthday. Now, while we were all hanging out playing board games, I still have my Tonemaster Pro on, and I was live streaming music to my Tonemaster Pro from my iPhone. So everybody at the cabin was able to hear music at really high fidelity from my phone. And then anybody could go to my phone. Like, you can do one of those Spotify like group things, so people could add their songs, and it was all playing through my Tonemaster Pro. And then I told one of my buddies who like swears against digital, because you got to keep in mind, man, if you're watching this video, that means you know the value of digital. I can't tell you how many of my friends who could play circles around me and probably anybody watching this still think that digital is just a fad and that nothing beats tube. So we're sitting at the table, and my buddy Zach. Zach is the best jazz guitarist. Zach Bingham, he's here in Columbia, South Carolina. Literally one of the best guitarists I've ever played with. I look over him at the table and I said, hey man, do you hear that music? He goes, yeah. I was like, sounds pretty good, doesn't it? He goes, yeah, it sounds great. I was like, just so you know, that's my guitar amp too. And he's like, what? And I was like, yeah, dude, it's like literally the amount of flexibility the Tonemaster Pro provides is insane. So look, I know I probably sound like a fanboy, but all I want to say is that if you're underwhelmed by the Tonemaster Pro update, you shouldn't be. In my mind, it seems like they're setting up the platform for long-term success. Yeah, in the short term, we would love to have every amp. Like, look, I want an orange amp. That's all I want. I want an orange amp to play with. I know a lot of my heroes play orange amps. I would love to get my hands on it. And I could with my Axe FX, but I don't want to. I want to use my Tonemaster Pro. It's what I love. It's like my iPhone, right? So give them time. Know that we're playing the long run. Fender's not playing, oh, we're going to have 6 months. This has to be a product success or we're dropping this. And just enjoy what you have. Look, there's over, I think I've made close to 30 videos on just showing you how to use this tool. If you cannot get by with all the tones that I have made so far, the problem isn't your tones, it's your playing. And you should probably spend less time being a keyboard warrior and more time being a guitar ninja. Which, speaking of which, that is the perfect time to plug my Patreon. If you do need help becoming a better guitarist, consider checking out my Patreon. Patreon.com/DamionAndy. I've got lesson plans from $5 a month all the way up to $40 a month, depending on what you need as a player. So check it out. That is probably the sweetest plug I've ever had. But all in all, I think it is an underwhelming update. I just think it's a necessary one. Just be grateful that Fender's updating this, and it's not like, here's a great product. Bye. Anyways, I hope, this at least answers the people's questions who are reaching out to me on socials. Thank you guys so much for giving a damn about this channel and really just hanging out with me and helping me grow and become a business. And just thank you. Y'all, I seriously couldn't do this without you, and I just really appreciate your time, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Cheers.